A lot has happened, but at the same time, absolutely nothing. I'm having a great time. Oh my god, my ears. I can't be listening to this. Hello everyone and welcome back to another reading vlog. If you're new here, hi! Make sure you subscribe. My name is Emmy and I like to read a lot of books on this channel. Like a lot. So if you enjoy reading and reading vlogs and reading content, then you are in the right place. As you can tell by the title, we are doing another continuing books that I'm in the middle of video. If you haven't seen my others, I'll leave them down below, but basically I'm a book girly who likes to read a lot of books and a lot of series, but I'm also a mood reader, so I like to read based on my mood. Typically when I start a book series, I'll try to read the whole series like back to back. You know, to keep the story fresh in my mind. I always feel like that's the best way to read a series, but sometimes you're just not in the mood, especially when you're reading big fantasy books like I am, and they're huge and have so much information and brain dumping. Sometimes you need palate cleansers in between. Sometimes you need to just change it up. I'll also sometimes pick up a book series and I'm not like head over heels obsessed with it, so I'm not in a rush to pick up book 2 or book 3 and so on and finish it. So I do have a few book series that I am in the middle of reading, and in this video we are just mood reading, but the TBR for the video is book series that I'm in the middle of. Without further ado, I think we're just gonna jump straight into the video because we're just gonna pick up a book that we feel like in the moment and continue reading on. Ideally, I'd like to get through 2 or 3 book series that I'm reading, but we're definitely gonna read 3 books in this. Whether I'm reading like 3 completely different series, whether I'm reading like 2, or I'm not gonna just read 1 series, that would be a little bit boring for you guys. So we're gonna read at least 2 different book series in this video. So let the reading begin. We are starting this vlog by continuing books series that I'm in the middle of reading. And you guys watch me read book 1 and book 2 of The Beasts of Briar, this reading vlog here. And the book arrived this last week, so I thought, why not we kick it off by this, because book 4 is getting released later on this year, so why don't I just catch up to date with the most recent book series I'm reading, and also like the physical book that I have, because I think quite a lot of the books that I'm in the middle of reading are Kindle books. I'm in a drawing mood. I've gotten back into my sketching and illustrating, and I want to sit and listen to an audiobook while I'm like drawing and sketching. And I used up my Audible credit for the month, so I've got Spotify. So I'll do some drawing for a few hours, and then when I go to bed we'll pick it back up in the hardcover physical copy of. But I have to say, this book was the only one that I could find of the books that I want to read in this video on Spotify as an audiobook. So it was like the default option, like, yeah, we're gonna start with this because it's the most accessible for me. Now, do I regret listening to it on audiobook? No, but I think skip is gonna be my best friend, or at least times 2.5, because there is so much spice in this. Note to self and note to yourself, if you wanna listen to these books on audiobooks. There's 5 characters in this book and they all have their own point of view chapters, and they all have actors playing them. The actors don't voice them in chapters that aren't their own. So we'll have a female character doing a voice of herself, and then a lower voice for like one of the male characters, and then the other male characters for their chapters, they'll put on like a high-pitched voice for the girls. So I'm literally listening to someone talk about spicy scenes. Oh, and then he did this really explicit thing. Like, I'm not gonna say anything graphic, but I'm just gonna like reenact. So it's like, oh, he put his inside her, and they did this, and then I came into the room and I did inside and you get the vibe, you get the gist. So it's really, really cringy, but it's so easy to like listen to and read and take in. It's just such a fun, silly series. Like, is this my favorite series of all time and favorite books? No, but are they like good entertainment vibes? Yes, but it's very silly make-believe vibes. Like, it's not like Akatar or Throne of Glass where you're in this world and it feels real and you believe it. This is giving storybook vibes. It's giving like whimsical fairy tale. Not in the same way as like Once Upon a Broken Heart, but like very storybook. That's the only way I can describe it. So I feel like I'm reading like an adult version of a Disney movie. It's not got that like adult vibe to it. It's just silly and goofy and a fun time and cheesy. So cheesy. But it's fun. the drama in it is fun. So it's just like a light-hearted read. It's a good one to have on in the background, but this book is definitely spicier than the other ones. They're just ramped up a notch, so I'm like, oh, every other chapter, I'm like, oh my god, my ears, I can't be listening to this. The book is huge. Like, I picked the biggest book in it, 655. Like, I'm not gonna finish it today, but I'd like to have it finished tomorrow. We're just gonna be listening to the audiobook and then reading the physical thing. For now, we're gonna sit and draw while I listen. I'm gonna continue. I'm 11 chapters in. Though I do have to say, I do prefer to read a physical book. Like, I feel like if I listen to a book physically, my rating is different versus if I listen to it on audio, because I can get way more into it and visualize it when I'm reading it. Good morning. It's the next day. I have eye patches on because they're refreshing and cooling. It's a Sunday, so I'm doing a bit of self-care. I'm 50% of the way through this book. I don't know how I feel about it, guys. Honestly, I don't know if just listening to it in audiobook instead of reading is just making me not connect to it, probably. But I feel like for being 50% of the way through the book, a lot has happened, but at the same time, absolutely nothing. There have been no important or major plot points that have happened. I do feel like this book so far has been filler, and I feel like it's not a type of book for it to just be like cheesy and trashy and guilty pleasure fun. It doesn't need to be 600 plus pages long. Like, that's for fantasy with insane world building and plot developments. And Cooper, my hand is not a toy. Why are you gonna get a toy? I just feel like we're getting more character development and more character storylines. We've got new characters that introduce new character arcs. And I just feel like there's like 8 different characters in this book now, and I don't care about most of them. There's 5 main males. There's plot points that I've been waiting from book 1 to like come out and be revealed, and we're in book 3 and we still haven't got them. And then there's a lot of other things that are being hinted at that are so obvious, but again, like cheesy, guilty pleasure, trashy, fun read, you know what I mean? So it's not that big of a deal, but I feel like it's being this many pages is trying to make it more serious than it actually is. Like, there's absolutely no need for this to be 650 pages, like none at all. I'm not in the mood to continue reading right now, and like a normal person with a sensible brain would put this book down and pick up something else, but I want to read this today, and I don't like putting a book down and picking up something else and reading something else. Like, my brain just doesn't like to work like that. Like, I can't read multiple books on the go at the same time. I can read multiple series, like I can pick up one series and put it down and pick up another series, but I can't pick up a book and then put it down and then pick up another book and then half put it down and then go back to the other book and pick it up. You know what I mean? My brain doesn't like that, and I just think, oh, if I just sit and read for 2 hours, then the book's finished anyways, and then I can move on. That's how I'm feeling with this right now. Like, I don't want to pick up anything else, and it's making me not want to read right now. I think I just need some distance, but what I am in the mood to do is edit, and I have some reading vlogs and book videos that I need to edit anyways, so I think I'm gonna sit with a coffee, get some editing done, get back into a bookish mood, because whenever I'm editing my reading vlogs, it makes me want to read again. So I feel like if I get some editing done, get ahead of content, then it will put me back into a mood to pick this up and read it. And I think this will only take me like 3 hours to read because we are 50% of the way through. Okay, so the first 370 pages of this book were kind of giving like 2-star for me. Like, nothing was really happening. It was a little bit of a snooze fest, but that was good. Did not see that coming. I'm probably just an idiot though, because it tracks. Like, it makes sense, and for the character dynamics and developments in this story, like that makes sense. But I'm feeling a little better now. Now we're up at a 3-star again. We've got like less than 200 pages to go now. That's insane. God, I can't wait to keep reading on. The drama is just drama. I think Cooper is enjoying this too. aren't you? Hi, Kippy. I finished Forged by Malice, and I have some strong opinions on how I feel about this book. This is the third book in the Beasts of the Briar series. I don't know why this book is so long. Like, why does it need to be 600 plus pages? You know what? It doesn't. Basically, 650 pages and a solid 400 could have been edited out. I felt like, I mean, because I was listening to the first part of it on audiobook, I felt like I could kind of just like drown it out. Like, there was nothing really of substance happening, nothing major to do with the plot, nothing. I feel like you could have just skipped a lot of the middle point. Now, potentially it's just because I don't care about the characters that much. I feel like it's one of those book series where it's not like ACOTAR or Throne of Glass where I'm actually like really heavily invested in the characters, or even like Zodiac Academy. I will sit and read 1,000 pages on any of the Zodiac Academy characters doing the absolute most fluffiest filler book type of stuff. I've read From Blood and Ash, which has like 3 filler books in it, if we're being real. Like, there's so many books out there where I don't mind reading filler because I love the world, I love the characters, and I just love the escapism and being in that story. This is not one of them. I enjoyed the story in book 1 and I enjoyed the development in book 2, but book 3, I just don't care about the characters that much to read 650 pages of nothing. The first bit of the book was okay, the middle part was so boring, and the last half was really good. I feel like if this was condensed into like 300 pages, it would have been a really solid story. I don't think it needed to be 650 pages. There were so many spicy scenes. I had to flick through them because I was like, we just had a scene before this, like, too much filler. Now, the ending though, I am gonna read book 4. I hate to say it, I honestly do, but the ending was really good. The plot twists that came, I expected one part of it, but I didn't expect the other part, and also like the whole mate twist. If you've read the book, I am not happy about that. Like, what do you mean? This book is a reverse harem, so there are 4 or 5 main male love interests in this book series, okay? And the girl gets all of them. We're 3 books in, and I feel like each book we get 1 confirmed mate. Similarly to like the Zodiac Academy, if you've read that, where, you know, when you find your mate and there's like a thing that happens where you're like, it's not like ACOTAR or anything like that where it's just like, oh, we're mates. You know, like something specifically happens that confirms you are mates in this world, the same way that you know, mates are confirmed in like Zodiac Academy. But this just gives me like Disney princess vibes. I feel like this is just like a spicy Disney story. It's very, not childish, but I don't know. There's like depth to the characters. They've got a lot of real emotions and struggles and stuff, but I just don't really care for them or believe in them. I like the bad guys. I like Keldarian and I like Caspian. The others are okay, but like nothing for me to swoon over. You know, I don't think I'm a reverse harem girly, because even when I read The Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac and Darkmoor Penitentiary, I had a bias and I was sort of like, I would have preferred if this was like a love square and like she gets with one of them at the end, because that would be more interesting. Like, I just don't think reverse harems are for me, so I need to stop reading them. I like to read everything. I like to read loads of things out there, so I probably won't pick up a reverse harem for a while because I just don't really care for it. I like a choice. I like the character to choose. I like there to be one, but this, what did I rate it? It's been a couple days, so I need to get up my story graph just to make sure. I gave this one 2.5 stars. It went up to a 3 and then it went back down for me, and I just think 2.5 stars. I don't want to read this again. I wouldn't recommend reading this. If you really loved book 1 and book 2 and it was like 4 stars upwards for you, then yeah, read this. But this, I don't know, just so much of this could have been condensed down. I think it would have been like a 3.5, 3.75 if all this middle part was cut. So that's how I feel about this book. Am I glad I read it? Yes. It was a huge book and I got that ticked off my TBR, but my least favorite in the series so far. It's a good like mindless guilty pleasure read if you just want to like switch off your brain and not think, but yeah, no. And now what we're picking up is book 2 in Kingdom of Lies. So book 1 is A Court This Cruel and Lovely. I read that in my 24-hour readathon. I am so excited. This book is finally here. If you watched my last 24-hour readathon, I read A Court This Cruel and Lovely, and it was my favorite book in that vlog. I've not been able to stop thinking about this book series, and I immediately wanted to continue reading it, so I want to tick this off my list straight away. I was honestly gonna say, like, if it was up to me, I would just sit and binge this entire series, but it is up to me because this is my life and I can do whatever I want because I'm an adult. So I might just binge the whole series. I don't know if I'd do that in the video though. Like, I don't know how long filming this episode of continuing series I'm in love is gonna take, but I am so in the mood to read book 2 in this series. Very excited. It was left on like a cliffhanger, like a big plot twist. So we're gonna jump straight into it. Honestly, this is like one of my new favorite fantasy book series. Do we get Jewel Pov in this again? Yeah, we do. A win is a win. Anyways, I'm just gonna sit here and start reading. This is starting off so good, also kind of reminding me of The Plated Prisoner. The physical book itself, the way it's printed and formatted, the way the paper feels, the book feels, the font size feels the exact same as The Plated Prisoner. Like, I don't know if it's the same manufacturer or printer, I don't know how the publishing industry works. Like, the book itself physically reminds me of my Plated Prisoner series books, but we've just had the first chapter is in the perspective of the Queen, and it's reminding me of The Plated Prisoner, how we get Oren's and Slade's point of views in the book, and then Melina's as well. So that is very, very interesting. I'm also not going to finish this entire thing tonight because I'm tired, but if I can read like 100 pages, how many pages is this book? Like 500? 524 pages. Yeah, definitely not reading it all tonight, but I'll probably finish this tomorrow, to be honest. I'm almost halfway through the book, I think. I'm around halfway. So we're gonna sit and finish this book. If you didn't watch my 24-hour readathon, then you might not know or have heard of what A Court This Cruel and Lovely is. So A Court This Cruel and Lovely is basically about this, in the world that these books are set in, there are humans, there are fae, and then there are like half fae. The map is quite varied, but humans in this world are born with powers, and when they are babies, literally months old, the king removes their powers, basically siphons it out of them, because humans are not allowed to live with powers in this world. It will be a danger to everyone, to society. Lots of things in history happen like years and years and years ago. That is the reason why people can't have their powers. And then when they reach the age of 25, they are given some of their powers back. I'm pretty sure the whole gist of it is when you're that young, having powers is dangerous, right? So they give it back to you when you're older, and then you can go off and live and work with your powers, practically. Our main female character is a human, but she has her powers and she's trying to hide. She's going to be 25 soon, and she's so worried that she's gonna get caught, and because they basically test you to make sure you don't have powers before they give you powers back. So she's like so paranoid that she's gonna get caught. She's trying to figure out a way to escape, to leave her village, to try and survive, and she ends up getting caught in this situation. Stuff happens, you know, and she's on the run trying to survive, and she runs into this mercenary who's trying to get into this city, and he can tell right away that she needs help and she has some power. They strike up a deal. He will help provide her training. They'll help give her food and shelter and stuff to get to this city that she's also trying to escape to, and she will use her powers to help him get into the city with his group, trying to sneak into this city. They basically have the same destination, they're trying to go to the same place, but she's on her own and he's with a group of other men who can help watch out for her and train her and use her powers. That was such a long-winded like explanation of what this book is about. And then things happen. We've got sort of like two parts of the book, where part one is our main character Priska. We got world building and history and figuring out how things go. Then she's on the run with these group of guys. I don't know, there was something about it. Like, I said in my 24-hour readathon that like that part of the book reminded me of obviously Throne of Glass and like Lorcan traveling with a lead. It was giving me like those vibes. And then the second half is when our main character gets into the city. The plot sort of develops from there, because what happens after they stop traveling together? The book is split into dual point of view chapters, so we get chapters from both the main female and main character, and I really like that because we got the insight into both, though it does heavily focus on our main female character, Priska. Now, I would say if you like ACOTAR and Throne of Glass, you'll probably like A Court This Cruel and Lovely, but book 2 so far is giving me like ACOTAR and Throne of Glass vibes, but also mixed with The Plated Prisoner. In this book now, we're getting chapters, very minor ones, but some chapters from the point of view of the Queen, and The Plated Prisoner does that. And The Plated Prisoner is also like a darker romantasy, and this is giving like a bit of a darker romantasy vibe. I love it. It's very, very plot driven. There is some spice in it because it is an adult book, but I would say like it's quite minor. There's not actually that much compared to the plot, like a little bit. So it's been really fun to read, but I love a plot driven political fantasy fae book. So we're reading this and I am so excited, like ridiculously excited to finish this. This is one of my new favorite book series. It's completed. There are all 4 books out. So I want to finish book 2 so then I can read book 3 and book 4 and finish it. But they are all pretty good size. They're all around 500 pages, but they're printed quite large. So I think if they were printed like same size as like other normal books, then it would be smaller. Like, I don't know if you can tell. If you've got the Plated Prisoner books and you've seen like the paperbacks, it's printed like that. Like the font is quite big and the spacing is quite large. So very, very easy to read and just flick through, but I'm having a great time and I am excited to just continue and finish this. And the first book, we had so many plot twists and changes. Like I thought what happened in the first part or first third of the book even was going to be like the whole book 1. So it is very fast paced. If you like to be kept on your toes, then this is a good one. We have so many new characters and I just really love the found family. I have also made a coffee to help me get through this book because I'm planning on just reading the whole second half of it right now in one single sitting. I think I'll have time to do that. I need to go and pick up Cami later on this evening, and my goal is to finish this book before I have to leave and get him, and then that will be another book ticked off in my list of continuing series that I'm in the middle of. When it comes to continuing series that I'm in the middle of, my list has gotten a little bit longer than from the last video because, as I said, like I've bought a bunch of new books, and most fantasy books or reads that I've picked up, like 90% of the books out there anyways, are part of a series. So when I finish a series, if I want to pick up a new book, it's going to be part of a new series. Now, I typically like to try and read most book series straight away, so I will like pick up book 1 and then read all the books back to back before jumping into a new series, but lately that hasn't been happening. There's just been a lot of books out that I want to read, so I've been sort of reading book 1 and book 2 of some series to see what I'm in the mood for, but I've definitely been more in like a reading mood lately. So we've started a couple new book series, but we also have finished some other book series. I think every time I've filmed one of these videos, I've completed a series. Other series that I'm in the middle of right now are Red Rising, but that's one that I feel like I need to pace through because it is like a big political sci-fi series and I feel like I need some palate cleansers in between reading them. We still have the Chestnut Spring series. I read Trial of the Sun Queen. I've got the 3rd book still to read in that series, which I could potentially pick up in this vlog. I'm not sure. I haven't planned exactly what books I'm going to read yet. It's sort of just seeing what I'm in the mood for, but that is another one. And then same as before, you know, I've got Red Queen, The War of Lost Hearts, the Bargainer series, the Sacred Stones trilogy, the Nightshade Crown, you know, books that I don't know if I want to continue on with the series at this moment in time, like books I'm not rushing to go and pick up, but they are books that I have read, like the 1st or 2nd book in the series, so they're sort of on the back burner for now. The priority of books that I actually really want to get to are obviously like the Trial of the Sun Queen, Defy the Night, Red Rising, Kingdom of Lies. I actually despise when like book characters pretend they don't want each other when they clearly do, and their like inner dialogue is like, I like him but I can't like him, or I like her but I can't be with her because we have one character who's literally like, nope, I like them, I'm gonna be with them, I'm gonna tell them, I'm gonna keep showing them, and they keep doing that. And I'm like, love it, thank you very much. More of this, please. Less than 60 pages to go. I am so close to being done, and it's gonna be left on a cliffhanger again. Like, it's gonna have like a big cliffhanger plot twist because we're literally at a point where so much can happen. Almost like maybe like a turning point, but you know, I have to pause because I need to go and pick up Cammy. But when I come back, I'm gonna be finishing this straight away, and then we're gonna start the next book. But I'm gonna just want to read book 3. I'm trying, guys, to pace myself with this series because if I read this entire series in 4 days, 4 books in 4 days, like, come on, that's a little bit insane. And then it's done. So I'm trying to pace and spread it out by reading others at the same time. And because I started Defy the Night at the same time that I started this series, I'm like, I can read the 2 series back to back maybe, but I don't want to. I just want to sit and read this. But I'm really enjoying this. Obviously, after the first book in the fantasy series, there's so many ways that the direction of a plot can go. But I've really been enjoying this. It's been fun. And I can see how like the story is being set up for overall. Like, I understand the pace, I'm pretty sure. I can see how it could be laid out between the 4 books. But I'm intrigued. I feel like it's just started to like get really good and now it's about to finish. Every time. It's like an hour and a half later. I'm back. I got showered and comfy and we have 60 pages left of this to read, so we're gonna sit and read this now, and then I'm definitely just gonna pick this up immediately after. It's smaller, under 400 pages, so I think I could get a good chunk of this done tonight after, because I've got like another 3 hours of reading to do, so I'm trying to work out mental math in my head. But we're gonna finish this. When you look up certain like things to do with this book, like what it's about, the tropes and micro tropes that are in it, I feel like it's sort of, I feel like every fantasy book with Fae where it's a romantasy, there is one specific subgenre of a romantasy that is to do with Fae and couples, relationships, something that like every Fae fantasy has. No spoilers, but do you get where I'm going with, right? Do you get it? If you don't, I'm sorry. But I think that's quite obvious from book 1 what was going to happen, especially with the fact that Priska was dreaming of Lorien before they had even met, right? If you've read a Fae fantasy book or a Fae romantasy book, you know where I'm going, right? Nothing has been confirmed, but we know that's where that's going, right? Like, obviously. I love it so much. It's one of my favorite like tropes in Fae books. I don't know why I love it so much, but I'm just like, love it. I also like have so many theories and ideas of where this could go for half of the plot, but then the other half I have no idea where it's gonna go or what it could be. But right now we're at a point where there's a lot happening between a lot of different characters and a lot of ways that the story could go with like individual character developments and plot points, and I have some ideas, but then the other half I'm like, I know it's gonna have either been hinted at so far or I probably should be able to like start picking up on bits, but I maybe haven't. I don't know, I've got ideas in the back of my head, but I'm like, I'm really intrigued, and I really love this book. I do think I like this book series more than I like The Plated Prisoner, and I think I might even like this more than Blood and Ash, but not A Shadow in the Ember yet, because Nyctos. Nothing can get in the way of me and Nyctos, other than like Rowan Whitethorn. But Lorien is I think he's potentially cracking into the top 10 for me. And I really like Priska. There's something about Priska that's reminding me of Aelin. She's no Aelin. No one can compare to Aelin, but a lot of main female characters really annoy me, like DM from Spark of the Everflame. Oh, I love that series so much, but she's one of the most insufferable main female characters ever. But Priska, I really like Priska. Yes, what I just said like 2 minutes ago, confirmed. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. it's literally about to be on the biggest cliffhanger. You can't say that. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I need to pick up book 3 like now. That was insane. Whoa. Was this book absolutely insane? Yeah. The ending? Oh, the ending. If you're gonna read this series, I would recommend having like the other books ready to pick up straight away, because the cliffhangers are... Oh, I really just want to pick up the next book. No. Okay. We're gonna start this one. Are we? I think I'm gonna go pick up book 3. I think that's what I need to do. Okay, so I picked up book 3. We're just gonna read book 3. I mean, I could maybe get like around 100 pages in, but I'm gonna do that in bed, like go and read in bed. And then I need to sleep, but I'm gonna be up early tomorrow, so I'm gonna be able to read for like at least an hour tomorrow. And this book is around the same amount of pages. Hopefully we get like halfway through tomorrow. That's the plan. We have 100 pages exactly to read left in this book, and I can't believe I'm going to be finished book 3 in Kingdom of Lies. I have just been flying through this book. I think I'm going to be finished in the next like 40 minutes. I'm just going to sit here and read it, and then we're going to be done with it, and then that is one more book in this series complete. I'm only going to have book 4. I'm not going to read book 4 in this video. Depending on how this ends, I'll either like pick it up straight away, or I might try to save it and pace myself, because I'm very nervous to get into book 4, because some people say they're really happy with how like the series wrapped up, but other people say that they were disappointed with it. So I'm like a bit nervous for the last book, because I feel like that will determine the overall series rating for me, but I think I will also fly through that pretty quickly, so then that's the whole book series completed. And Cooper, you need to calm down. I don't even want to think about how many times I've worn this shirt in this video. If I have already worn it, like, sorry. I have fake tanned myself though in preparation for like London. That sounds really random. Like I'm going to a concert and have events and stuff going on, and I want to wear a lot of white, so I've put some fake tan on. So I'm wearing like old clothes that I don't care if the tan transfers. Come sit here. Good girl. There was like a war politics scene that just happened, and it was giving like A Court of Wings and Ruin. You know, when all the leaders from the realm are together and they're discussing what to do with like the upcoming war. That's one of my favorite book scenes ever, and like one of my favorite things about like fantasy books. Like I love the politics in a fantasy book when it's things like that. So we just had like a little moment of that, and I just got so engrossed. I'm like, oh, I want more of that. Like I love a romantasy, and I love banter and tension and enemies to lovers and betrayal, and you know, like really delving deep into like characters and character development. But I love a war. I love a Fae war. I love a interesting magic system, and I love war politics. But like try to get me to be interested in real life war politics? Nah, not gonna happen. Not at all. Fantasy Fae made make-believe fairy wars? Yeah, so good. No. Oh no. What do you mean that's the end? Oh. What? I have to read the last book. I have to. That was insane. I feel like book 1 was a 4.5 stars for me, and then book 2 and book 3 have been 4 stars. Like they've both been like really good, but I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but very much enjoying this series. So far for me, it's like a 4-star series, and I really enjoy it, and I would recommend it. Is it gonna be like my #1 favorite of all time? Probably not. I love it a lot though. And I actually think I need to immediately go and download the book on Kindle, to read it straight away. The one thing about these books is there's big cliffhangers. Book 1 has like a cliffhanger, but it's not like a huge cliffhanger. Book 2 cliffhanger, yeah, you saw, like I had to pick up book 3. Book 3 cliffhanger, the biggest one in the series so far. So much came together right at the end, like the last 20 pages. I was like, oh my god, everything's coming together. That is this book done now. That is 3 books done. I need to go like sit and process it. And that is where I'm gonna end this video, because otherwise my videos would be hours long, because I can just sit and yap about books for so long. Obviously, we got through 2 books in the Kingdom of Lies series. We only have the 4th one left. So even though we didn't get the 4th one finished in this video, I'm feeling really good and confident about that, because I think I can easily get that done in the next week. Maybe I need to do another 24-hour reading vlog so I can just like smash through that. But I'm feeling pretty good because we got completely up to date with 1 book series, and we only have 1 more book in a 4-book series left to do. So we're ticking these books off these lists. I do have some new releases coming in the next like couple weeks of series that I'm in the middle of reading of, so even though we're ticking some books off, some new ones are getting added, but I feel like I'm working my way through it and I'm feeling confident about it. So if you like this video and you want to see more, you want to see me read other book series, if there's a book series that you know that I'm in the middle of reading on that you want to watch me read, let me know in the comments below. Make sure you are subscribed if you're not already, because I love having you here, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.